at you with another video. You know, honestly, I don't really like wasting time. If you know me, you know that's for sure. I'm gonna get straight to it. I've had a little bit on my mind today. Honestly, this runs through my mind quite often, but I'm gonna go ahead and, talk about it. I feel like the red pill community has really been like on the forefront as of like the past few years. And it's steadily rising. I feel like not as drastic as it was, but definitely still on the rise. But with the rise of red pillars, I feel like there's also, I guess you can call them blue pillars, just people that, I guess you call them, I guess you can call them feminists really, like just people that are on the opposite side of the red pillars. And I feel like, it makes sense because with all yin, there's yang, however you want to look at it. There's always just going to be like an opposite of something. So, and they're both two extremes. Like there can never be a happy medium or like a middle area. Because for those who don't know red pillars, those are the guys that are typically kind of like, if you've ever seen Fresh and Fit, they're red pillars. Some people would say Andrew Tate's a red pillar, which I guess to some degree, like he kind of helped really push forward the red pill's agenda, I guess. But I see him as a little different, but that's just my opinion. But red pillars, basically, they're just the guys that kind of, they see themselves like, as superior alpha males. So if they're making a certain sort of money, they're at a certain status in life, like they can do pretty much what they want, which I guess isn't necessarily a lie. The world runs on two things, money and, but that's the thing. I feel like where it gets extreme with red pillars is I guess the way they like to control every aspect of their life. So, I guess we'll get to the nitty-gritty, mainly women, I guess. I think that's the main part that makes red pillars seem so bad. They're not that bad. It's just, I feel like the way they go about things can be aggressive sometimes, like when they say the man gets the final word, and now not all men, but, if that woman trusts that man to lead, he's making enough money to, take care of all the bills and the woman doesn't have to work. Like that type of man. Not just any guy can just, we're together, bitch. We do as I say, da-da-da. That wouldn't make any sense. But, well, a lot of people don't make sense in the world, so. But, so basically, if they're at a certain status, make a certain amount of money, what they say goes. There should be no argument. What a woman says doesn't matter. Like, speak your truth. At the end of the day, we don't give a fuck. I can't really agree with that because, there's a lot of smart people in the world, especially women. Women are very smart, if you ask me. Like, I feel like personally, women are like the smartest creatures. It's just that they throw away their common sense willingly when it comes to a man. Like, if they find a guy that they truly like, they will literally just throw common sense out the window. They don't care anymore. And that's where it's just like, that's where it gets foggy. And it's like, all right, now you don't even know what to think. Because, like, you don't want to be smart. You don't want to act like you have common sense. Now I'm going to treat you like you don't. That's where they get upset. Now it's a jumble of whatever. But back to what I was saying. Basically, the red pill community is just basically just a very aggressive way of controlling your life and things around you once you hit a certain status. And the main focus of that, for most people that find red pillars to be bad, is how women are treated, like second class humans, or just if humans at all. I guess that's how they see it. It's just very very aggressive. And women are sensitive creatures. So a lot of them, especially younger ones, they don't even really care about the actual like message of what red pillars are saying. They hear how it's said and they run with it. Now, for other women, there are some women that get it, and some of those women are looked at as, oh my God, you're so submissive. No. They just kind of get how life works when certain things are in place. Like, so I don't know. I don't find red pillars bad. I think they can be aggressive and stuff, but I don't find them bad. A lot of their ideas and ideals make sense to me, but to a lesser degree. I mean, on the flip side, blue pillars, I mean, I don't think they're necessarily, obviously they're not bad, but I don't think they're necessarily good either, because I feel like, yes, you know, equality and all that, women's rights, of course, everyone should have rights. But I feel like, you know, like I said, for one extreme, there's another extreme, and they take it to the next level. Like, I don't think you should just let women walk all over you and think that means equality, you know? And I know this is all over the internet right now about the feminist movement and how it's really changed how guys move, how women move. Like, you know, you see a lot less dating nowadays, a lot less commitment, just because dating a woman is kind of like walking on eggshells now, and it's men's fault really for the most part. But because I feel like most feminists are men, and it's just, you know, there's nothing wrong with women having their rights, having a say so. I agree with that. They should have a say so, because for all you know, you could have been thinking of something a completely different way than what she's thinking, but her way could have been better the whole time. It could make your life easier, but just shutting her out completely, you would never know. So I feel like, you know, letting a woman have her say, actually taking her thoughts into consideration is a very smart thing to do. It takes two, you know, two heads were better than one, whether it's a man or a woman. But just to let women take full on control, especially because women are emotional creatures. So, and I'm not saying that all of them don't have their emotions under control, but a lot of women do base their decisions off emotions, and it's hard to run a society like that if you can just hit a switch and now everything's going to go into turmoil. And I'm not saying that'll happen every time, like, your emotions flurry or whatever. No, it's not always going to be a bad thing, but when it is a bad thing, it's going to be a bad fucking thing. So yeah, and for blue pillars to kind of like uplift that and support that, like, it's more like it doesn't seem, this just doesn't seem, and like, there aren't only male feminists. I'm only talking about the male feminists because of course there are going to be female feminists. Like, what woman wouldn't want to fight for more rights and, you know, and equal opportunity and stuff like that? I know a lot of women have more opportunity based off, like, they have to do a lot less to get in certain areas of life, but that's whatever. That's another story for another day. But I think they uplift, like, the male feminists uplift the blue pill, like, agenda so much, it just doesn't even seem real. It seems like the male feminists have another objective. And I mean, I guess shouldn't say it seems. I mean, it's got to be like, this is their way of trying to get laid. The nice guy, like, it's playing the nice guy to the max level. Like, okay, well, I'm not having any love being the bad boy or just being myself. So maybe if I, you know, simp a little bit, times 5, like, you know, maybe to do something. Oh, they'll see I'm sensitive, showing your sensitive side, which is not a terrible thing. Like, I can be sensitive. I know I can show my sensitive side sometimes, but I know how to put a cap on it. Because at least through my experience, I don't, like, yes, women love a sensitive man, but at the same time, they're gonna want someone with backbone, someone like, okay, oh, we're in this terrible situation. Oh my God, like, the world's on fire. Like, they're not gonna be able to look at you because they're like, what could he do that I can't do? You know, so it's just two extremes. So hearing from both sides, because I lived with a red pillar. It was, damn, he's definitely a red pill. And then also a blue pillar, like, at the same time. We lived in a townhouse. I won't be giving out names, but when I say he's a blue pillar, that's as opposed to the red pillar. I don't think he's like a feminist per se, but compared to the red pillar, shit, you might as well call him blue pill. So let's call him red pill, blue pill. And I'm gonna be honest, like, this may sound like a cop out, but I'm putting myself in purple pill. I really wish that you could have seen our conversations, but whatever. One of the conversations we got into was flat Earth and round Earth. And before I get into this, the only reason I call myself purple pill is because no matter what the three of us are talking about, I never had a side all the time or majority of the time. Like, depending on what we're talking about, I could be on the blue pill side or I could be on the red pill side, because the way the blue pill is looking at it is like, oh, no, that's too, like, that's not enough. That's not aggressive enough, or that's not really giving anything. Or if the red pillar is like, okay, hold on, we need to maybe press on the brake a little bit. Like, don't you think you're going a little far? It just depended. Just because I can see both sides, and picking an extreme just never makes sense to me. Like, I get standing on business and standing on what you believe in and shit like that, but like, I feel like a lot of people are a lot smarter than what they like lead people to believe, but they're also that much more stubborn. So it's just whatever. But that's why I'm purple pill. But we got into flat Earth versus round Earth, and I guess on this one, I guess you could say I was leaning a little more towards the red pillar, because the red pillar, he thinks that the Earth is flat, and then the blue pillar, like, I guess I don't even know if I can say majority nowadays, because damn, the world is being split. The blue pillar thinks the Earth is round, a sphere or whatever. And the main reason I was on the red pillar side is because it seemed like the blue pillar was completely closed off to the idea of it being a possibility. I told him, hold on now. I understand there was a moon landing recorded. I understand there are pictures of the Earth and stuff like that. But have you physically gone out to space and seen the Earth? No, I haven't. So you're so quick to believe what others tell you, or what's put on the internet, or what's put on the news. You don't even question it yourself. Then I don't want to say he tried to bring some sort of math. He tried to bring like math and I guess common sense into it. But then my rebuttal was, okay, that's fair. But those same people that put the pictures up, on the news or whatever, those, they're in the same kind of boat as the people that created this math, this way that you think, this common sense, the way that you think was created by the same people that want you to believe that the Earth is definitely round. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but you got to open your mind and think about the possibility. Like, what if they are wrong? What if the Earth is flat? There are certain places in America, not America, I'm sorry, excuse me, in the world that we are not allowed to go, or there are certain places where like you can go some of it, but there's a point where you got to stop. You can't go anywhere past this. So it's got to make you think, right? Another reason I was on the red pillar side is because he thinks that way now, but I know he used to think the Earth was round at a certain point, which means he was open to the thought of, oh, damn, everything we learned growing up might not be true, and which is pretty much how I think. I mean, I feel like a lot of people as they get older start to think this way, but then you get out in the world and you talk to people and you realize not that many people are free thinkers. Like, a lot of them are like, no, I don't want to think about that. I'm gonna stick to what I've been told and stick that way, because a lot of people don't like conflict. They don't like chaos. They don't like curiosity. They don't like being original. There are plenty of people that like to be original, and there's proof of that. I can get into that later. But a lot of people, they'll just take what they hear with a grain of salt and just don't care. They'll just be like, whatever. It is what it is. People like stability, and that is what I feel like the blue pillar was more on during that argument. And the argument was like for like an hour or some change. We just were like we weren't like arguing, but it was more like a debate. Like, I was more like, okay, blue pillar, why can't it be flat? Like, tell me. And so we were getting all the nitty gritty of that or whatever. I'm sure plenty of people have heard about, flat earthers, round earthers, but basis of the story is we get into a lot of type of arguments like that. And it's just interesting to me. We've had, I guess you can call them guests, be there and just kind of watch us just go back and forth on a certain topic. So it's just one of those things. But I also want to speak on one more thing before this before I wrap this little thing up, I just want to be short and simple with this, get little things off my mind. I actually got into an argument with the blue pillar, like an actual argument about I guess sexuality or whatever, sexualities or whatever. And the reason we got into an argument, we were in Tennessee at the time. We were just having like a boys trip. It was like 5 of us or whatever. And we're out on the deck. We're smoking cigars or we're just chilling or whatever, whatever. And Blue Pillar brought up the fact that he's sapiosexual. I'm like, okay, I think I know what that means. What does that mean? I'm attracted to a woman's mind or a person's mind. Like, you know, if you're smart, you know how to use it, you have common sense. Like, I'm just attracted to that sort of thing or whatever. And I'm like, okay, that, I guess that makes sense, but why categorize that? I feel like everyone is attracted to someone that has some brain capacity, like that can talk or has some sort of common sense. And when I say that, yes, men, like, you know, they go for women for their physical attractiveness, of course, at first. Like, that's everyone. Like, the people, for the side note, the people that say, oh, it's about personality, shut that shit the fuck up. Because you're not just gonna go up to some random person that you don't find physically attractive at all and just be like, well, let's figure out what their personality's like. I could like it. No, a lot of people just don't work on a whim like that. Something about them has to catch your eye that makes you want to go over there and even get to know them. When people say, oh, it's about personality that makes you stick around. Not for the first initial, oh, like introduction. Just wanted to get that out the way. But, so, back to what I was saying. It just didn't make sense to me because I was like, why do you have to categorize a sapiosexual if pretty much anyone, or if not everyone, is attracted to, you know, a person's mind? Like, that's really what a relationship is built on. Like, yes, the physical attraction is there, but to want to be in someone's presence all the time, not get tired of them, not get bored with them, like, obviously you're going to spend your time away because you need that, but you got to be mentally stimulating to that person. You've got to really make me want to be around, hear what you have to say, care about your opinions. Like, that's all a mental thing. So we got an argument because I didn't understand why they had to be categorized. And he was just explaining, he brought up other sexual aspects or whatever, however you want to put it, like bisexual and like homosexual, pansexual, and all that other stuff. And, you know, I'd say what I said at the end of the day was I feel like all the different types of categories are just because there are people that want to be original, want to stand out, and there are followers. And if you get someone that stands out just enough, makes enough sense or not enough sense, it doesn't really matter, but it's different, you'll get enough people to follow that, and then it will become a movement. Like, and I'm not saying different sexualities aren't a thing, but you like what you like. It doesn't have to be categorized. That's how I see it. Sapiosexual really makes no sense to me because everyone should like you know, that mental not mental stability, that mental freaking stimulation. Everyone should like that, but you know, I guess not. That's why it's categorized, whatever. When it comes to, what is it, pansexual, are those the ones that, like, I think, like, anything, or like man, woman, transsexual? Here's what throws me off. Like, I get the transsexual thing, the transition from man to woman, woman to man, but now you are supposedly a man, or now you are supposedly a woman. So if that's the case, yes, you did a transition, you are transsexual, but is it still pansexual if they are now identifying as a man? Like, this is a man now. Would that just make you, like, bi? Like, does pansexual even have to be a whole thing? Oh, I like everything. I like men, women, transsexuals or whatever. I was like, okay, well, they're still a man or a woman at the end of the day. Like, whether they transitioned or not, they identify as that. So why add in a whole nother topic of sexuality? There's no point. Like, that is someone trying to be original. There's other things as well, which is crazy. Like, Being asexual, I'm sure that's a thing, but that shit is mind-boggling to me too. I can't begin to comprehend being asexual. That shit just mind blows me. Like, holy fuck. But yeah, that's really pretty much all I had to say. I was just going off on a little rant. Wasn't really doing much today. Yeah, just wanted to get that off my mind. That's really me just summarizing a lot of the shit I talked about. I feel like I talked about this type of shit a lot the past year or so. Basically, just because of who I live with, and conversations like that would always arise. Just because that's the direction the world is headed and stuff like that. But is what it is really. I don't like to think I'm on either side. I like to kind of not play both sides, but be in the middle. Like, I can see both sides. I don't want to just completely shut out someone's way of thinking, because I know I like to think how I think is correct, or not even correct, at least makes sense. I don't care, like, I do care about being correct, but not as much as I do about making sense. Like, I want to make sense. Like, okay, even if you don't find me correct, does what I'm saying make sense? Like, do you see why I would come to that conclusion? So that's pretty much why I call myself Purple Pill, just because, I can't really choose a side. I mean, if I had to pick, I think I know which side I'd lean towards more, I'd say, but yeah, I'd rather not. I'd rather just, be a blend. We'll call it purple, like Purple Pill. You can go ahead and chew on that. Let me know where that takes you. By the way, let me know what your opinions are on this. I would love to hear some, opposite thoughts. Maybe I've been thinking about it wrong the whole time. I love constructive criticism. I'm all ears to it. So yeah, leave comments, subscribe. I'm just getting started. Yeah, talk you out.